Morning, everybody. Andy here again, day 47, getting close to that 50 mark. Right, I'll put the figures down below. Yesterday, as always happens over the weekend, the figures start to go down. Must be some sort of way that they count these things, or the communications. Maybe certain people don't work at the weekends. I don't know. But the deaths reported yesterday, 347, and that brings the total now to 31,587. Right, I'll just mention this book quickly because I started reading this after reading that lockdown book. It was brought to me by somebody a while ago now, and I was very interesting character, but unfortunately, God, just couldn't get on with the book. The writing I found was dreadful in so many places, and I was getting so exasperated with it. Julie said, just put the book down, put it away. And there's loads of great information in there, and I wanted to read more, but he keeps, without going into it too much, he just keeps adding people into the story that have got no relevance at all to the actual story or to the time that the story is talking about. It's as if he's just trying to prove that he knows these things, or he's done a bit of research and this person happens to have been at the same art college. No sort of connection with Malcolm McLaren in any way whatsoever. Anyway, so we'll leave that. Go on to something else, Andy. But getting frustrated is maybe what I'm going to talk about today, because tonight Boris is doing his little sort of sermon, I suppose, to the nation, 7 o'clock tonight, when we will find out what, if anything, is going to change over the next months, I presume, whether there's going to be some sort of roadmap as to how we're going to come out of this, like they've done in Spain and Italy, given sort of dates, as long as we reach certain targets, etc., etc. But the annoying thing about it is, because of the way that this has been done, this was leaked. Boris mentioned this the other day in Parliament, that he was going to be talking or somebody was going to be making a statement. Somebody was going to be making a statement on Sunday so that some easing, whatever, that's a brand new word, another new word that we've created, of this lockdown situation will change as of tomorrow. And of course, everybody suddenly goes, "Way, we're all going to go out now," and and they always, unfortunately, what governments do, all governments. They leak out information to newspapers, and of course certain things they leak out to newspapers, partly because they then get it in the press and everyone bungs all these sort of crazy ideas out into the press to sort of touch to see what the temperature, the mood of the country is, and see whether they will actually take this, like the lockdown and all this, or other things that have happened in the past. I said that governments of all political persuasions have done this in various countries. They do this to test the water, sort of litmus test, as they call it, to see what the mood. Well, if they want to put sort of restrictions on certain things, will the country take it? Will they put up with it? There's a big furore in the paper. It gets sort of shelved, and they've done that with this in a way, and leaked out certain things as to what might happen, and seen what the reaction is going to be. Unfortunately, the reaction has been exactly what I would expect it to do. If you let people make a choice on these type of things, then they're just going to go and carry on as normal, as has happened this weekend. So I can understand, here on the coast in Hastings, we are a destination, a seaside destination that people come to. We went down for our walk, as you probably saw in my video yesterday, early in the morning, because we knew what was going to happen. We knew that people would come flying down to the seaside, in probably all over the country, because it was a lovely day yesterday. It was a beautiful day, bank holiday weekend. The government have basically leaked out that we're going to be changing the lockdown laws, so everyone's going, well, sorry, we're going to do it now then. And I don't blame them, because there's no leadership as such. They're drip feeding this, and then after they put those things out, and all the newspapers go, hey, right, the lockdown's going to be eased on Monday, you'll then be able to do this and do that and do that. Where do they get this information from? There's only one place they can get it from the government. Otherwise they wouldn't be able to publish it, because everyone was saying the same sort of thing. That's the giveaway. We're going to be able to do this, but how the hell do you know that? There's only one way that you know that. And then of course the government backtrack and they say, well, no. It's only going to be very small, incremental steps. Don't think you're suddenly going to be going down to the pub, or you're going to be able to do this or be able to do that. It's too late now. The horse has bolted. How are you then going to stop people going back into their homes? You've basically told them that they don't need to without telling them, and now they're going to be suddenly expected to go back to what they were doing 2 weeks ago. We've seen a gradual change of people because we haven't had the guidance. It's not easy for anybody trying to enforce this. The police are trying to enforce this. They don't know what they're they're supposed to be doing. We keep seeing reports of that, not necessarily recently, but in the not too distant past, where the sort of chief of the police, if you want to put it that way, has had to be given new sets of guidelines out to the forces in the country because they're not quite sure what we are allowed to do, what we're not allowed to do. How are we supposed to exercise? It's that whole thing. Yes, you're allowed to exercise, but you've got to stay at home. You know, you're allowed to go to the shops, but the shops aren't open. And all these sort of, because we haven't done the lockdown in the same way that other countries have done it on the continent, we've tried to do it in this sort of woolly, half-hearted fashion. It has not helped. Ultimately, it has not helped. And of course, governments do that to try and protect themselves, but they haven't protected themselves, and they certainly haven't protected the population of the country either. If we'd have done it properly, and I've said this several times, I know people won't agree with me, but this is my opinion, and you're quite welcome to differ from it. That's all. We're all entitled to our own opinion. I feel we should have gone to a proper lockdown and got it over and done with, and we would now be coming out of the situation. As I heard someone point out, we're now easing the situation where the deaths are a lot higher than they were when we went into it. So surely we're not in the right place to come out of it, and we've now got the highest death rate in Europe. There's a reason for that. As I said, these people will be tested by and judged by history, but we're making history now. We can actually change that history now. We're probably too late now, to be perfectly honest. We should have done it before. So I'm finding myself getting increasingly annoyed. And I know sort of discussions with Julie, she's been different. I had a slightly different opinion to me, but she's feeling the same way that I am. I'm talking to other people. I'm finding that they're feeling the same thing, reading people's things on Facebook. We're all getting increasingly frustrated. We're all getting increasingly annoyed about the way that this is being done, because I think the majority of people in this country actually don't want to see things change too quickly because they know what will happen. There's still, 300, 600 people dying per day. 31,500 people have died in this country alone. We're a long way from the finish line yet. And unfortunately, if we ease things too quickly, too radically, because of what popular papers might think we should be doing, we're going to end up in the worst place. Those figures will go up and up and up. We've all been told about that. So it'd be interesting to see what happens tonight. I suspect that we're not going to see much. I think there's going to be a reining in of the expectations. But as I said, has the horse bolted? Have we done, raised expectations to a level that is unattainable? And what happens if people then stop obeying what the restrictions are because they've now got used to driving around in their cars and going to the seaside and doing this and doing that? As I said, we've seen a slight increase in that all the time. How are the police or the authorities generally going to stop people? It'd be very interesting to see what happens. Anyway, another rant. But as I said, this is a historical document. It'd be interesting to look back on this either tomorrow, in a few months' time, or even a year's time, and see what the difference is. See if I've calmed down a bit. Anyway, stay strong, stay safe, stay at home. Yes, well, for today anyway. Maybe tomorrow you'd better do something different. And hopefully I'll speak to you tomorrow.